get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No.
Hey YouTube, it's the Photon here. I'm bringing you a deck profile of what I ran at the Photon Shockwave tournament at my locals the other day. And at first I was going to run budget plant deck, but at the last minute I decided to switch over to something a little more consistent in my opinion, and that's the tier 2 Gravekeeper deck. Now, I've had a lot of experience with this deck, so I wasn't going into a brand new deck, but I made a couple changes of what I used to run in the deck, and it ended up working out well because I just won the tournament and taken out some tier 1 decks while this is a tier 2 deck, in my opinion. But with further ado, here goes the deck. Alright, so you first start off with your 3 Gravekeeper Spies. That's pretty much staple in any Gravekeeper deck, and there's really no explaining for it. Next, we got the 3 Gravekeepers Commandant. Staple again, just your Necro Valley Searcher. Next, I ran 3 Gravekeeper Descendants, and a lot of people are starting to run 2 now. They're not seeing it as much as consistent as it used to be. I personally like the 3, and I'll tell you why in a second, why I ran the 3 instead of running it at 2. Next, I ran the 1 Assailant, staple. Then I ran, of course, 2 Gravekeepers Recruiter. Not 3, but 2. And I do have a 3rd Recruiter, and a lot of people are gonna call me crazy or stupid for only running 2, or a bad Yu-Gi-Oh player. I'm trying to play more of an aggressive deck for Gravekeepers because they're pretty much a control deck and more defensive, and that's part of the reason I run the 3rd Descendant is because it's a beater, and this is not a beater. This is a defensive move, and I'm trying to get over T-Kings and whatnot, and this gets contradicted by T-King. And I also run this card, 2 T-Kings. The reason is, this is pretty much staple in this format. Gets over all your XYZ monsters and synchro plays that everyone's doing. And it stops dualities and other nonsense cards. And this basically just stops shenanigans altogether. So I was always seeing myself side into the 2 T-Kings. So I just decided to actually play him in the main deck. And then for my final card, of course, Blackwing Gale is pretty much staple in Gravekeeper decks nowadays. And now that's 15 monsters. Now let's move on to the spells. Okay. Next, we have the 3 Necro Valley. Of course, can't go wrong there with 3 MSTs out. This is pretty much a must in the deck. Otherwise, it's not going to go well. Alright, then I ran the 2 Steel. It's pretty much staple. Some people are trying out the 3. I just find it as a dead draw, so that's why I stick with the 2. Then I run the 2 Royal Tribute. Becoming more of an iffy card just because of how popular Dark Worlds are now. If you're a smart Yu-Gi-Oh player, or a smart Gravekeeper player, in fact, you'll know not to rush into your Royal Tribute because you might not know if the deck you're playing is Gravekeeper. But all in all, you could just wait it out. But since it was locals, I pretty much knew what people were playing. And so I had really no trouble playing those. And this card wrecks hands, especially plants, Karakuri, all that stuff. Right, then we got our staple, Dark Hole, Book of Moon, staples. And of course the 3 Pot of Dualities, staple, and all Gravekeeper stacks. Okay, next we'll go to the trap cards. We got our 2 Solemn Warnings, and then our Solemn Judgment. Solemn Brigade, no explaining. Also, if you guys have super rare Pot of Dualities, or super rare Solemn Warnings, or common Solemn Judgment, I'm looking to downgrade all my stuff in the deck because I need the money, and I just have all this stuff from back before I quit, and I never got a chance to get all the super rare dualities and warnings and stuff. So if you guys have any of the lesser common stuff, just hit me up or comment below, and I'm more than willing to trade / buy. Alright, then we go to our Torrential Tribute, staple in like every deck nowadays. Mirror Force, not as staple, but I run it because I do like some of the defensive plays with the deck, and sometimes I do need it because my monsters do not really get over 2,000 attack. And I also run 2 DPs because this card is great, and with Mirror Force combined, it just equals extra greatness. Alright, then I run 3 Dark Bribes, and a lot of people think this is a lot. I personally hate Heavy Storm and some of those bigger spells and traps like Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Torrential Tribute. So this personally stops all the big stuff, and I rarely use it on some of the small stuff, like a single MST. That'd be kind of pointless. And I also use this as bait sometimes, so it works out really good. And as long as you know when to activate it and not blindly activate it like over a Dimensional Prison, then you'll be okay. And I don't mind them +1ing as long as I don't go negative in what I'm doing there with my play. Alright, next I run Deck Devastation Virus. This is another reason I run the 3 Descendants, because if I was running 2 Descendants and 1 Assailant, then that's only 3 monsters for this. So I want to have that 4th monster to help me wreck decks, and this really does wreck decks, like especially plants, Karakuri a little bit, and Chaos. So this card is really key and vital to the deck, so that's why I suggest running it. And of course I run Trap Dust Shoot, staple, and then the 2 Mind Crush. And Mind Crush is really important here because you're running Deck Devastation Virus and you're running 2 Royal Tributes, so it's just extra rape to the hand. So anyways, that's my deck. It's a 41 card deck. If you guys like it, subscribe. You can dislike, of course, but if you guys have any questions about the deck, like about what I played, well, I played Karakuri, plants. I played Anti-Meta, which is one of my teammates, and then I played my teammate's TG. I let him win during the regular rounds, and then I beat him in the finals. So it was basically just domination. Didn't take a single loss except for the one to my teammate, but that's because I was trying to get him into the top, to the playoffs. So anyways, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll leave a link below of what I pulled from the Photon Shockwave box. And I guess I'll see you guys around. Alright, thanks guys.